hello. Good evening, good morning, good night, whatever time it is for you. I am going to be doing a drawing stream today, and I will be drawing deer creatures from Folklore. All sorts of deer creatures from Folklore. We'll see how many I actually get to draw, just because of time constraints and everything today. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It's just going to be a nice chill drawing stream and everything. And yes, so how is everyone doing? Go ahead and get drawing. I think first I'm going to start with one of my favorite creatures from Folklore, Snawfus. Snawfus is a deer creature, deity kind of creature from Ozark Folklore. It's described as being a gigantic white buck with flowering antlers. It depends on like what iteration of the legend it is, but a lot of times it has like actual trees in place of antlers. And it also has big white wings, typically. So let's see. Let's get to drawing. Hello, Drixene. Welcome in. Why all folklore deers are big daddies. I know, right? Like, we have all kinds. There's, let's see. Snawfus. I guess, technically, even though it's like a humanoid, Carnanos counts. If you count, like, demons, there's Fur. There's all kinds. But it's very true. Have you ever tried deer meat? Unfortunately, yes, I have. I have, unfortunately. I did not like it. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I know. I know. I am much more of a, not full vegetarian, but most of the time these days it's like pescatarian anymore. I don't eat a whole lot of meat. But what was it? I think it was a family member gave me venison jerky once and I tried it and I did not like it. Also, I didn't really like, obviously I don't like eating deer. The strangest meat I tried was armadillo and thought it was disgusting. Haha. My father brought it from a northern province. Oh wow, that is definitely an interesting thing to try, I guess. Yeah, I'm slowly moving towards probably being full vegetarian eventually. I actually found out, so just like from both moral and health standpoints, but my my body can't really handle red meat very well. And I found out I've been much healthier not eating red meat, so I no longer eat red meat. And most of the time I just eat, I eat a lot of vegetables and stuff. Veggies and fruits, berries, and also like nuts and stuff. Also, let me know if my volume's okay, if it's the music's too loud or anything. Not a fan of red meat too, but I love fish. Yeah, fish is... Did I ever miss the request thing, by the way? Oh no, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten to it yet. I will definitely do that this week. Last week had... I had a lot of weird things happen last week, unfortunately. Lots of car troubles, which ended up distracting me. But I promise I will get it done this week. I'm not sure about this pose. No worries, take your time. Thank you. Yeah, I'll try to get it done this week though. I haven't really been drawing a whole lot, but I do want to draw some more, so. I think I want something more majestic for this character, like for Snawfus's pose. Maybe a thicker neck too, potentially. There's a lot of interesting folklore around Snawfus. So, in the Ozarks, there is an interesting, like little, almost like a blue haze / fog. And part of the Snawfus legend is that the fog is its breath. So there's a lot of people that tend to portray Snawfus as like a gigantic deer. And by gigantic, I mean quite literally like the size of a mountain, which is probably what I'll be going with because I really, really like that kind of like eldritch abomination deer type thing. There's something about that. I think it's just not tall enough. And I went on vacation with my family last year and we went through the Ozarks. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to see the mist because it was cloudy! It was cloudy, so it wasn't possible to see it. It sucked. I wanted to see it so bad. I'm thinking maybe I'll actually have the head kind of tucked a little. And then maybe change the eyes a little bit. But interestingly, in the Ozarks, white creatures, like leucistic creatures, are seen as kind of an ill omen or an omen of death. So ironically, even though it's viewed like it's kind of revered, Snawfus is also sort of feared in the area for being dangerous, or like an omen of death. Like if you see it, you might potentially die soon after. Spooky deer. That was weird. My tracking went off for a second. That's okay. I think I'll change this so the eyes are looking forward. At least it's a good way to look at it. True. There's a lot of legends like that. For example, white crows in a lot of places. Less shady than a crow or something. The irony of that. But yeah, white crows, especially in a lot of places also, are very kind of seen as like ill omens and stuff. But basically, it was almost kind of like it also helped with like keeping people from hunting them. So because of obviously you don't want to hunt an omen of death. So people would mostly leave white deer alone because of the whole Snawfus legend, which was pretty neat. So yeah, there's a bunch of different legends with that. But another thing with Snawfus is that a lot of legends, just general legends, got kind of mixed up with Snawfus's legend. And so it's kind of difficult to tell which ones are the actual legends about Snawfus and which ones are the legends about other deer creatures. Because there is kind of like a hunter's tale of white deer with like cherry trees blooming from its head. Snawfus is said to either have dogwood or plum trees, but then there's like other iterations of his folklore where he's like, again, like I said, a giant like eldritch deer that's like the size of a mountain. I heard one account that was like he's so big that it takes like a day for a bird to fly around him or something, fly from one antler to the other. So I really enjoy the idea of that. And I tend to like, that's the kind of like iteration of Snawfus I tend to prefer, is like many times they're closely related or stolen from other places. It's difficult to know where they came from specifically. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's quite difficult. And it's even more difficult when you have, for example, a lot of people from the Ozarks originally came from Appalachia, and like other parts of the US, there was some things that, you know, horrifying things that happened to certain kinds of people, and like that stuff, you know, the folklore changed over time depending on like what different cultures got merged with it and everything. So there's like, originally Snawfus's folklore probably mostly originated from Celtic, but then there's also a lot of indigenous Native American tribal folklore that has to do with white deer. So it's kind of like difficult to tell where it originated from. It's more of like kind of like a combination of different stories. So yeah, it's kind of difficult. I was kind of I have a tendency, so there's a site that I frequent, which is called the Internet Archive. And they actually have, I only knew very classic legends from the United States, what appears in the classic media. It's really a very big country. Yeah, it helps with the US because the US is so large. It helps to view the states almost as like individual countries, because that's almost like, that's kind of what it is like anyways, because each state has its own kind of government, different laws and different regulations and everything, and obviously different cultures within each state. So it's helpful to kind of view as like, yes, technically the US is one big country, but it's more like 50 whatever, you know, and then of course like you have the ones that aren't like actually directly connected to the mainland. But it helps to view them as like as their own separate countries, kind of. And so yeah, each state has its own folklore. We have certain folklore where I live that's deer related and everything. And the Ozarks does extend into a small part of my state. So it's somewhat local for me, which is why I really love Snawfus so much. But yeah, it is really sometimes really difficult to know where it originated from. But sometimes that makes it fun because then new stories will originate from other ones. And then it just kind of keeps growing. So I think what I'll do here is I will have in order to show kind of like the scale, I'll have him walking out from like a valley with like mountains here. And that way we can kind of see the scale of like how big he is. But yeah, there's lots of little tiny folklore. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Snawfus, probably like the origin was like Celtic and indigenous Native American, is most likely where the origin of Snawfus kind of came from. Because Celtic folklore has a lot of deer imagery and stuff. A snowy valley. I mean, we could do that. I was thinking more of like an autumnal forest, just because the mist that Snawfus quote unquote breathes appears most often in autumn. So I figured more like autumn mountain with like a mountain range and stuff. That was what I was thinking anyways. But a snowy valley would also be really pretty to just kind of show like the white against white, although it might be kind of hard to see it at that point. I'm gonna go ahead and scale this down a little bit so that I have space for his antlers. There we go. Just... Oh. Let's see. So typically, Snawfus's antlers are like just trees themselves. And given that only males have horns. Well, technically no. It's more common for, if we're talking specifically like, just like the actual animals. Deer typically have antlers if they're male. However, there are like occasions where does will actually form antlers as well. And then with caribou or reindeer, actually both genders have antlers. They just drop them at different times. So, interesting fact, if you didn't know this, most of the reindeer depicted around Christmas time to have antlers are female, because the female deer are actually the ones that keep their antlers through the winter time, whereas male reindeer drop their antlers before winter. So it's kind of interesting. If you see like reindeer around Christmas time, more often they would be girls. Oh, I was understand. I was asking because I know that in the case of sheep, some can have horns, and I was asking because deers probably work like that too. Yes, technically that is true. Yes. Most often, you will not see a doe with antlers. Like, for example, I guess you could call them New World deer, like, for example, like whitetail and stuff. They technically don't have, like, most of the time, females don't have antlers. However, they can, and it does happen. It's just more rare. But in the case of reindeer, all females also have antlers. Kind of interesting. So we'll do a tree here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this look less like necessarily antlers and more like a flowering tree because of the fact that he's so huge, which I think would be probably more interesting anyways. Oh, too thick there. Mm. And typically, I'm going to go ahead and go with dogwood, because dogwood bears a lot of significance to the Ozark folklore and folk magic as well. Even though, like, they sometimes are plum, sometimes it's a plum blossom, sometimes it's, you know, cherry or anything. We'll go ahead and go with dogwood for this one. I also just really like dogwood. They're pretty. Not great on my allergies, but very pretty. Let's see. We'll go ahead and do red dogwood, so they'll be kind of like pinky flowers to offset the white of his coat. Trying to decide if I should make him look more like a mature stag with more like a bit of a mane to him. I'm not sure. I don't know. Sorry if I don't write this stream so much. I'm using all my intellectual capacity to try to understand some words I've never heard before. Oh no, that's okay, Lucky. I'm sorry. Sorry for blathering on. I have a tendency to talk a lot when it comes to folklore. Feel free to ask me to repeat if you didn't understand something the first time. I think I'm going to have this go back a little bit. Having it stand straight up like that is unnerving me. And also it just doesn't allow for the space to show the other antler very well. Oh, my alert got cut off. Hang on a second. I gotta fix that. Hi there, GOTWD. Welcome in. Thank you for joining and thank you for the follow. How are you this time zone? Greetings. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. How about you? I'm doing decent, just being abed right now. Ah, cozying up, I see. That's always nice. Let's see. I have my 2-year-old daughter asleep on me. Aww. In a little bit. I think I will actually give him a little bit more of a mature look to him. Because right now he looks kind of like a young buck. But given that Snawfus is supposed to be some sort of ancient creature, it just doesn't fit very well. We'll do this, and then we'll kind of narrow his eyes a little bit and see if that makes it a little bit. Yeah, that makes him look a little bit more mature. Bigger chest. Larger shoulders. Some fur down here. Feathering at the fetlock area. Make him look a little bit bigger. Some vines growing around his neck. Ooh, that's a really good idea, Lucky, actually. I think I will do that. Because, like, when he's not being viewed as an omen of death, a lot of people like to view him as almost like a symbol of death and rebirth. Like, for springtime. So that works really well, actually, having some vines and stuff growing up his neck. Mwahaha. Yes. It is quite funny how some people view him, they're like, oh gosh, if you see him, it's a bad omen, you better be careful, because you might die soon. But then also, he can also just be like, oh yeah, you know, he's a symbol of spring, like, oh, things are dying and being reincarnated. I believe that Mother Nature is a good representation of life and death. She's the one who allows it to happen, and then she's the one who takes it away so that the cycle flows. Yes, exactly. Exactly. The natural cycle. I have kind of a similar mindset. I always view it as kind of a natural order. I know a lot of folklore characters that are supposed to represent death are kind of like scary and stuff. I tend to prefer it more that they're neutral, if that makes sense. I might do something similar to his legs too, like have like plants kind of growing up them. Because that actually sounds kind of cool. Like maybe have his legs sort of look like gnarled vines or something. That would be really neat. You gave me a good idea, Lucky. Also, I should probably save. I have a bad habit of not doing that, and it would be very sad if I lost my progress. Also, maybe some small mushrooms going around the top of his tail. Yeah, kind of like mine, actually. I have mushrooms on my tail as well. That might be kind of cute. I could maybe have, like, moss growing, like, here. Almost like he's got, like, a whole forest growing on him. You have to bathe while drowsy. Yeah. My little mushroom friends kind of leave that earthy smell after a while if I'm not careful. Thankfully, though, mushrooms are only like the above ground manifestation of the actual creature. So if I do have to bathe, it doesn't hurt my little friends, thankfully. When I do bathe. And then also I can't forget his wings, but I'm going to do that. Oh, I'm going to do that on another layer. Because I don't really like the idea of having to erase a whole lot of stuff. It's too beautiful how the sketch is turning out. Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate it. It'll look a lot better once I have more of the details in. For now, it's kind of looking a little rough, but... Oh, I forgot. I'm on a different layer. Thankfully, it looks pretty okay so far. But I do really like the idea of him being kind of, like, massive and just having, like, these gigantic, like, actual, like, huge trees. Should I give him a bit of, like, an under chin hair, maybe? Not like a full beard, but maybe, like, just a little bit to give him kind of look more distinguished. Nah, that looks weird. I'm just gonna stick with the other one. He is a white tail, after all, is pretty much how he's portrayed, so... What color will the wings be? What would it represent? So typically Snawfus has white wings. However, what I will probably do, if you're talking, you cannot be heard. Can't hear me? I wonder if something's up with my mic. Oh, now yes. Okay, let's see. I wonder what happened to my mic there for a second. Let me reposition it and see if maybe it was just in a weird spot. Just some scuff, I guess. So typically Snawfus's wings are white, but what I'm thinking, since I'm going with a red dogwood for the trees on the antlers, I will probably have the wings kind of tinged with pink as well. Maybe like the tips of the feathers down here will be pink. I can hear you well now. It was a moment when your avatar moved his mouth and it sounded like nothing. Oh my gosh. That was weird. I must have just like maybe... My mic has like a little button on it where if I hit it, sometimes it mutes it, so that might have been what happened. Alright, let's see. So let's go ahead and start making these look more like actual trees. And then I'll switch to a new layer. And start doing details. Knowing me, I'm probably just going to end up drawing one thing and just focusing on it. I have a very hard time drawing quickly when I get focused. Otherwise, they're giant cabbages on his head. Yeah, they kind of look like broccoli at the moment. So the color will be very important, and all the details of like the separate petals and everything are going to be very important to make sure that doesn't look like broccoli. Well, good nutritious dinner provides mushrooms, broccoli, and vines with some type of tea. I wonder if there's any kind of dogwood tea. I imagine there would be. Let me check. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see if there's any like dogwood tea. Yep. There is actually dogwood tea. So there we go. We got a full meal here. Growing on this deer. That's... This needs to be a little bit fuller as well. might thin out these vines a little bit and have them be a little bit less thick, because they look a little bit too thick. Too thick. I'll probably draw some like birds flying around him as well to kind of show how big he is as well. Especially since part of his folklore has to do with birds flying from one antler to the other. Can deers have some kind of extravagant pattern on their face? So it depends on the kind of deer. But a lot of deer can be piebald, which means that they can have some very interesting patterns on their face. If you just search piebald deer, you can come up with some pretty interesting ones. There are some other, like, species of deer that have different kinds of markings. For the most part, though, deer typically just kind of have very muted markings. They're not very extravagant. But if you get into color variations like piebald, and also caribou and reindeer are often some of the most colorful deer. It's a bit too thick. As for this one, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make him have a pattern or not. Given that he's pure white, I'm not sure. I'll see how I feel once I get done with this part. I feel like there might need to be one more leaf here at least. I think some white or cream color would look good on it to show that purity. Yeah. I'll have to see. Because again, Snawfus is actually white. Like, the entirety of Snawfus is white. So we'll see what I can do to do with markings. I think they're looking, he's looking a lot better though, as far as like him being more mature stag-like. Oh my gosh, it's a not deer. Hi, Zenith. Hello. Hello. It's not a deer. Or maybe a Netflix adaptation. How's my night going? It's going great. It's going great. I'm just chilling, drawing some deer. Yeah. How's your night going? Also, holy crap, I love your model. Thank you so much. I made it myself. It was my first attempt at a model, so I have a lot to learn yet, but I did my best. That's so dope. Thanks. Yeah, I would eventually like to do, like, to be able to, like, make them for other people as well, so I'm kind of practicing. Just with, like, little chibi models, though, because this one took me, like, I think it was, like, a total of 70 hours worth of work. Because I drew and rigged it myself. Just the drawing it... Thank you! Just the drawing it took 20 hours, so... But yeah, Lucky. That's actually kind of a good idea. I wonder... Ooh. I wonder if I could do, like, 2 sides of that. Like, maybe I could do, like, a reversed version where it's, like... Because this Snawfus is, like, flowering and everything, right? So it's rebirth. But if I did it the opposite way, maybe I could have it be, like, winter time and have it being, like... with dead tree branches and have its coat be black, kind of symbolizing the darkness of winter. I think that would be kind of neat. Like how there's less light in winter. Or maybe almost like a dark blue color would be good for him. I mean, you say maybe a version with poisonous mushrooms, a dying tree, dry leaves. Sounds very good. Yeah! That's actually a really good idea. I'll have to remember that. I might do like a reversed version. So like I'll have this version where he's facing like this way. I'll have this version be like the standard Snawfus, but then maybe the other Snawfus that I draw or like kind of flip it and change the attributes of him. That would be kind of cool. I like that idea. With a skull-style head. Ooh. That is such a good idea. Yeah, definitely. Kind of have it be like he's decaying almost along with nature. I like that idea a lot. That would be dope. Literally going to be a representation of death. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you have like the representation of spring and rebirth that he is here, and then he could be going into like winter and stuff, the representation of death. I like that idea. Kind of a different take on the version of him because he's pretty much always just like a pure white stag. But I think that might be kind of a neat take. Also, this leg is too long. There we go. Are you streaming tonight, Zenith? I've wanted to have a... yeah. So, interestingly about that, and it kind of depends. I think I told this to Lucky as well. I am. I saw you were live and wanted to say hi because I didn't realize you were streaming. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you dropping by. With that creature that you were just talking about, a lot of times, and it kind of depends, I tend to kind of like call them more like forest spirits, because the creature, that name, actually has nothing to do with deer. For some reason, I don't even know where it started, but people started like correlating that specific creature, the one that you just named. They started correlating it with deer, but it's actually not. It has nothing to do with deer. It doesn't even look like deer. It's pretty interesting. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. So a lot of people will either, I mean, like you can, it kind of depends because of the fact that it's from indigenous folklore. A lot of time, if you're not indigenous, it's kind of considered incorrect to talk about it because mine was just going to be straight up demon who dwells in the hell in the forest of flesh. Ooh, that would be so cool. That would be super cool. Yeah, but even then, interestingly, even then, it didn't have that in the original version. Because it was actually a creature that had to do with starvation. Again, I'm kind of like a little bit nervous to talk about that kind of stuff just because it's generally not considered okay to talk about. But the original origin of that legend had to do with starvation. So it was kind of like it didn't have anything to do with deer because it was about essentially cannibalism, right? So, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. But there are other creatures, like for example, the leshy, which is more like a forest demon spirit thing, and a lot of people will portray it as having a deer head. I love the idea of like forest demons, though. Those are so much fun. You can do all kinds of stuff with them. I'm probably just overly cautious about it. I just tend to like, because certain creatures get correlated and then they're not like really supposed to be correlated, I tend to personally not use the term. But again, like, people can do what they like. It's just typically not really seen as the same thing, so. But yeah. I do actually have somewhere in my notebooks from a long time ago, I actually had like a forest demon creature. It was like purple themed and everything. I love like creepy deer creatures. There's quite a few of them, but still not enough for me. I love like the uncanny type deer stuff. There's lots of fun, like two-headed deer and deer with lots of eyeballs, obviously. Something about this, I feel like he's a little bit top heavy. Like, I feel like his head is maybe a little bit too big. Now that I'm looking at it. I'm gonna probably reduce the size of his head. I'm super nitpicky about this kind of stuff, but it looks kind of like too big. That's a little better. I'm like, there's a horror movie called The Ritual that has a deer-like monster. It looks absolutely terrifying. Ooh, I didn't know that there was a deer in that movie. I'm gonna have to check that out. I love like undead deer and that kind of stuff. There was a movie that had like a really cool scene with like zombie deer in it. Something like train. There was a train, like it's something train in the name. Zombie deer. A movie. Gosh darn it, I don't even remember. There was like Undead Train. Where is it? Train to Busan, I guess, had a really, really well animated zombie deer in it, and it was super cool looking. But yeah, I'll have to look that up because I hadn't heard about that. One of my favorite shows, NBC's Hannibal, had a lot of like creepy deer, which was a lot of fun. That might be part of why I liked it so much. Also, I don't know if anyone's into like podcasts and stuff, but there's also Welcome to Night Vale actually had some pretty neat deer imagery in it as well. Okay, so we're gonna do like a kind of a rough foresty mountain thing here. I'm also gonna look up, actually, I'm gonna look that up. Brain going in 100 different directions, but I am curious about that deer creature that you were talking about, Zenith. A friend showed me Welcome to Night Vale years ago, and I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I was obsessed. I was obsessed with it when it was like still coming out, like early on. I still listen to it. It is funny though, like, I was telling one of my friends about this, but if you fall asleep with it on, you get some pretty wacky dreams. But I really love it. It's actually, a lot of it has influenced like my whole aesthetic and everything. It has a lot of like eyeball imagery and deer imagery. The ritual deer. Let's see. I have to see. Oh, it's that thing! I didn't know it was from that. Moder, whatever it is. Moder. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. But I see that thing on Etsy all over the place. It's pretty creepy looking. I definitely will have to check it out, though. I'm not, like, terribly into horror, but I will definitely give it a check. Give it a watch. I'm more into classic horror movies. Yeah, kind of same. I'm not big into like jump scare-y hacker slasher stuff that they have nowadays. I kind of like prefer older horror, if at all. I also like, I guess I kind of like, I'm more into, what do you call it? Thriller? I guess I'm kind of more into thrillers, sort of. What are some of your favorite horror movies, Zenith? I watched Hellraiser last Halloween for the first time, and it's probably already one of my favorites. Hellraiser. I don't think I've seen that one yet either. Again, I don't watch a whole lot of horror, but I'm always kind of like willing to give it a try. I would like to play the new horror games from Unreal Engine 5, but my 1060 doesn't support them. No! Oh, bummer. Bummer, Lucky. Yeah, and I don't know if they're still expensive, but I know that it was like, there was like a huge jump in like PC prices and stuff. Luckily, I got mine before that happened, but yeah. I don't like the idea if for some horrible reason mine breaks down, I'm gonna have to pay a lot to get it replaced. Here it is difficult to buy a graphics card. If I get a job, I would like to be able to buy a new graphics card and some Oculus Quest 2. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be cool. If you do, I do hope you can get a job and so that you can get your upgrades that you want. Also, I hope you're doing well with like your progression into the it was cardiology, right? Is what you're studying, right? And but I really like 80s horror movies. Like The Thing, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, etc. And also B-movies. B-movies are so good. I like, yeah, I have a tendency towards, like, older horror. Whoops. I gotta keep it consistent. I still have at least 6 years left, so I'll see what I can do. Haha. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Must be a lot to study that. Did you end up deciding to take, or did they end up deciding to put you on night classes, or are you on days? Because I know you were talking about that. Let's see. I guess, so let's see. What did I like? I liked, for horror, obviously, again, like I said, it's a newer series, but I liked NBC's Hannibal. But I also liked, I think it was it Manhunter? That was the other Hannibal one that I liked. Manhunter, yeah, I liked Manhunter, which was 1986. And typically, like, creature films. I really enjoy creature films, even if they're goofy. Even if they're, like, goofy, I like creature films. There's something wrong with this. This hoof does not look good. We're gonna fix that. It's too small. That's what it is. Scylla Wolfie, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. How are you? You're good? Oh, that's good to hear. I am currently doodling a Snawfus. Eating dinner. Ooh, what you eating? I had some, and taking a break from cleaning my room. A well-earned break. Mac and cheese and barbecue ribs. Good old solid food choices. Mac and cheese and barbecue ribs. Let's see. I think I'm gonna have, I'm gonna go ahead and have like a moss blanket on his back. Almost like he has like a whole forest on him. Not like a full world type thing, but I always like think of Snawfus as almost like the deer version of like a world turtle type thing. Where it's just like a whole forest on the back of a giant deer. I always like that. It's like not technically correct to a lot of the folklore, but I like it. I like the idea. Eventually, I would like to make like one of those. It is yum. It sounds yum. Eventually, I'd like to make one of those tablet assets, like a one where you can see like a hand tracing around on the screen with the tablet pen. But I've heard that that's kind of difficult to do, so I'm not sure. But I would like to do it eventually. Or make like an animated asset. I'm cleaning my room so I can have room to work on an upcoming big project this weekend. Ooh, a big project. What kind of project is it? What are you working on? But also that's a huge mood because I have to do that every time I start on a craft project. Like, I must have space. I must put away the giant piles of clean clothes that I didn't put away all week. Making your first ever fursuit! Let's go! Let's go! It's tough work, but it's so rewarding when you can wear it after like you're finished with it and you're like, yeah, I made this. It's super fun. Are you doing a partial or a full suit? Full suit. Oh wow, you're brave. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. You'll have to, if you drop by again, you'll have to tell me how it's going. That would be awesome. Thanks, I plan on streaming it. Oh, that's super cool. I don't see a whole lot of people, do you mean like streaming making it or streaming wearing it? Because if you're talking about streaming making it, I don't see a whole lot of people do that at all with their fursuits. That would be pretty cool. But either way, it's a neat idea. Eventually, someday, I'll probably end up doing a fursuit stream. Yep, streaming making it. That's such a neat idea. I really don't see a whole lot of people do that. I know people will like make time lapses of their builds, but I don't see a whole lot of people that will actually stream them making it. That's a pretty neat idea. Have you ever made costumes before, or are you just going straight in with the fursuit? Okay. We'll do a little bit of a fur thing there. I've assembled costumes before. Oh, okay, yeah, that helps a lot, but not made. Oh, okay. It helps a lot knowing, like, kind of how costumes go together and stuff. That helps a lot. So hopefully that knowledge will help you a little bit with your fursuit. I used to be a cosplayer, so I used to make my own cosplays, and I can tell you it helped a lot having like the previous knowledge of costumes and stuff to go with it. And like if you've cosplayed and stuff, you kind of know like how to make things more like comfortable to wear and everything just instinctively. It's really nice. But yeah, I mean, there are so many really great resources and stuff out there. You don't even really need prior experience to get started. It's pretty neat. And there's like all these really cool patterns on Etsy and even free patterns and stuff to help. I used, for mine, I used a few patterns, just because I wanted to get it to look exactly how I wanted it. At the moment, I'm considering replacing certain parts of my fursuit just because it's very, very hot in there. I like looking at patterns and then come up with my own. That's a good way to do it, yeah. Get inspiration from the patterns, but then kind of like customize like the kind of like the method that they were made so that it becomes your own. That's a really neat idea. For me, I was kind of silly and made the entire mouth area, like the entire mouth area out of fleece. But the fleece that I used was like super thick. So it's really hot. And I would rather like, I'm gonna go probably replace it with a sort of, because you can see on my model, which is not how I originally had the design, almost kind of looks a little bit translucent, like the antlers and the nose and everything is almost like, I had a friend describe it as looking like lucite. And it does kind of look like that. I thought I might replace certain parts of my fursuit so that it looks almost kind of shimmery. So I was thinking about getting some holographic vinyl to replace those parts with it. I also want to replace the antlers because I just did foam antlers, or stuffed antlers, I mean, and they don't stand up very well. So I'm probably going to replace them with EVA foam. I'm going to have 3D printed parts as well. That's always good. That's always good. Reduce the workload as much as you can. That's the best. It's easy. It is easy when you do like start on it and it's like especially with you doing a full suit, it is easy to get burnout. So reducing the amount of work that you have to do like by hand is definitely a good idea. Because that way you can kind of like know that you have those parts already and you're like, oh, okay, I don't have to sew this or I don't have to sew that. I'm probably I'm gonna also end up replacing or making like a separate set of feet hooves and hand hooves for mine because I went with stuffed ones, but they're quite big and I kind of want smaller ones so that they're easier to move around in. It's fun having the big stompies, but also I want to be able to like walk around a little bit easier. My fursona is a dragon wolf. Ooh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. That's gonna be a neat suit. My old fursona was a dragon unicorn, actually. Dragons are so cool. But I'm happy with my deer. I think Drowsy fits me a lot better than my old Sona did. But yeah, dragons and wolves, such a good hybrid. Let's see. I'm making a super mobile tail and wings. Oh, you mean like one of the ones that like moves as you walk and like kind of bounces and then like you can wag it and stuff. Those are super blah blah blah. They're super fun. I don't know what happened just there. I couldn't frickin' talk for a second. Those are so cool. They always looked kind of hard to make, but I bet it'll come out really neat. I'm excited to be able to wear it to Pride Fest this year. Oh, neat! Neat! That'll be really cool. That'll be so cool. When I went to Pride last year, and there were a few fursuiters. And it was neat. It's always nice to see. So yeah, that'll be really cool. I hope you're able to get it done in time. Best of luck. And I'm going to plan to go to my city's FurCon as well. Oh, nice! You have like a local FurCon? That's pretty cool. Yep, Denver. Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you live so close to such a big convention. That's super neat. We have a couple small ones in my state. We have Tales and Tornadoes, and then Anthro Expo, I think. I think it's Anthro Expo. Annex. I believe. Anthro Expo? Because I know that one of them is in Tulsa and one of them's in OKC. Yep, Anthro Expo. But they're still quite far away from me. They're like a couple hours. So yeah, that must be really neat to have that like super local. Yikes. Yeah. Couple hours away, hour and a half away. We could still drive. Like, thankfully I don't have to get a hotel, but like it's still quite a drive. Let's see. I think I want to make the mountains on a separate layer because I think that'll be much easier. And I'm not sure if I really want to clean this sketch or if I just want to kind of have it be. Thought about coming up to Denver for Denver. I would love to some year. Yeah, I've never actually. So I just finished my fursuit last year. So, and I hadn't had a chance to go to a convention with it yet, so I'm probably going to go to Tales and Tornadoes as my first FurCon this year. I've been in the furry community a while, but I just never got to go to a FurCon. But I would definitely love to go to Denver at some point when I can afford to travel. I've heard it's a really good con. When is that convention? Tales and Tornadoes? Let me see. I think it's in September, unless I'm wrong. Tales and Tornadoes. September 1st. August 30th through September 1st. So, yeah. It is. I've met so many furries. That's really cool. I'm excited to meet more. I've met a few furries at like anime cons and like local Ren fairs and stuff. But not that many. But yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm excited to hear how that goes. Okay, let's see. Moment of truth. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. There's always one part that's not fully connected. And this is going to remain. Well, hey, I'll keep you posted on registration. I'll see if I can help you. I definitely can't afford to go right now, but thank you though. I'll probably end up Only con I potentially have planned for this year is Anthrocon. Oh, I would love to go to Anthrocon too someday. Someday. That would be really cool. I hope you're able to go, Zenith. But anyway, yeah, I definitely can't afford to go. But some year, it'll be nice. I also have work and everything. So I tend to stick local with most things. I like to go to the Lake Ren fairs a lot. I would love to go to Anthrocon. Yeah. Anthrocon sounds so neat. Heck, even Midwest Fur Fest. Yes. There's another one that I wanted to go to, and for some reason I can't remember what it's called right now. I'm seeing more and more furries at anime cons too lately. I went 2 years ago to Anime Fest down in Dallas, and there was quite a few furries there. I need to draw up a reference sheet for my fursuit. Oh yeah, that's definitely helpful. Like the full turnaround and everything. Do you have like the fur picked out and everything? Was it difficult to find like the fur colors? Yep. Well, that's good at least. I mean, if you meant like you've got it all picked out and everything. I had a lot of trouble with gray-ish colors for some reason. Like finding the right shade. For my first fursuit, that is. I think I'll just have this whole thing be pink. That whole inner section be pink. There's a fursuit maker in my area that's selling me some fur from Big C Fabrics. I love Big C Fabrics so much. They are like my fabric store. I will not buy from pretty much anywhere else unless like I can get a good deal at like Joann or something, my local Joann. Big C Fabrics is awesome. Their customer service is so good. And their fur quality is great. And they have eco-friendly options, which is great. They're awesome. They're also really cool because they kind of embraced, all right, I'm about to get set up, so I'm going to head out for now. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you, Zenith. Good luck on your stream. I hope it goes well for you. And thanks for dropping by. But yeah, with Big Z Fabrics, they've also kind of embraced the fact that most of their customer base are furries. So they kind of market towards furries now, which is kind of neat. It's kind of neat. Like they promote like furry, like fursuits and stuff on their like, oh, here's what people have made with our fabrics and stuff. It's super neat. Anyway, yeah, I love them a lot. Their quality is amazing, so you will definitely not have any issues with that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go with a gray color here. Grayish, like... I say gray. I'm freaking blind. It's more like pinky. My tablet is woo. My tablet is like super off with the colors ever since I updated it. I need to fix that. I'm pretty sure I said that last week too, and I just never fixed it because I'm too... I put it off. Oh, wrong wrong layer! Wrong layer. There we go. And then we'll do... Wait, that's also the wrong layer. Gosh darn it. This is the right layer. I'm a silly deer. Okay, we're gonna put this behind here. Like that. I'll put these lines so that we can select this. And of course, I'm on the wrong layer again. There we go. We'll do like so. We are eventually going to do like orange and red, so we'll just do brown for now. We'll put this in another layer folder. This is actually a little bit too... There we go. And then we can get rid of that one. Oh wait, also I need to do the mushrooms. I forgot. I forgot the mushrooms. I can't believe I forgot those. Giant mushrooms. I'll probably just do kind of like... I was going to do a Monita, but I think I will just have them be regular kind of white mushrooms. And then since I'm going to do like a reversed version of it with poison mushrooms. And we'll do a little bit of a moss on the tail. I gotta fix this. Oop. Selection, invert. There's a bit there that's not colored. I might have him stepping over like a stream. That might be kind of neat. Like maybe there'll be like a stream that comes around here or something. Just a bit. Oh, shoot. I will probably do one more line layer, actually. Potentially. It's like I should just like, this is a doodle stream, right? I should just doodle, but I'm also just like, I want it to look clean and nice. It's so difficult. The perfectionism strikes again. All right, and I would like this to be like a let's see, sunrise. We'll do sunrise. So kind of a golden color for the sky. And then we'll do some pink and some purples. Just a second, let's look at sunrise. Yeah, more of like a brighter yellow is what's needed there. I'll do a little bit lighter. And then we'll do some pink and purple. I really like sunrise and sunset scenes. I think they're really pretty. And originally I was going to have this be like an autumnal forest, but given that we're going with the death and rebirth kind of theme for these, I will probably go with spring. So it'll be kind of green and pretty. Actually, we're going to go ahead and do a clipping group here. And only select these two. Oh, right here. This is where I saw it. And then we'll do maybe a bit darker. And then in the background, this one will be darker, but also kind of bluish, because that's how that works. And do a slightly darker for the lines. Ooh, that's a bit too dark, actually. There we go. And then we will select this, and this can be our river, like so. This looks pretty. I like this. And then let's see, should we focus on Snawfus now, since we've got somewhat of the background blocked in? I think we shall. Let's see. I'm not sure which of these is going to work better. Given that I'm working, typically I will go with a fuzzy transparency for like textured brushes because it picks up more of the pixels. But sometimes it doesn't work very well, so we'll just have to see. I think my mic has moved again. Oh, I need to. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Oh, it's not a big deal. The tree will be on a layer that'll be above this one anyways. I like always start by trying to select everything and just like going like, oh, I'll just select this little bit, and then in the end I lose patience and just start selecting the whole thing. It's gonna be on a clipping layer anyway, so it's not as big of a deal. And then Snawfus is white, so we are going to do pure white clipping group. For his eyes, I wonder if I want to go with blue. I think that might be nice. I was thinking either blue or green, but I think with the river down there, I think it'll be nice to have like a little bit more blue, given that the rest of the piece is not blue at all. And then a pink nose, I think, would be good for him. pink nose and ear insides. And hooves, I think, is what we'll go with. I'm still debating about whether I want to have, like, vines wrap around his legs or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it'll be too much or not enough, because, like, he's got the vines around his neck right now. But I feel like his legs look a little bare, so I might add some vines down there again. And then, because I typically like to do this with my eldritch type creatures, he will have dark sclera. It just makes them look a little bit more otherworldly. And I've always had, like, kind of a preference for it, so, in character design. And then for the dogwood tree, we're going with red dogwood, so it'll be pink. Ironically, even though it's called red dogwood, it's more pinky. We only have some white dogwood around my house, but it is still pretty. But we do have we have some cherry trees and they've bloomed out, which I think it's a little bit early for cherry trees. Like they bloomed out like pretty much right at the start of March. I thought that was a little early because typically I only see them blooming like closer to April. But I guess with the warm winter we had, that's probably why. Oh. I'm not sure why I have this little thingy here. I'm going to assume it's part of the stem, so I'll just keep it. And we'll do the mushroom caps on this layer as well. Oh, stretch. That looks pretty. A little bit too... There we go. Oh, this is for some reason down that layer. We want it over here. And then these will be kind of like a creamy color here. And then we also will have the blue mist. That will be over here. And we'll do ahead and have that kind of be coming from his breath. I guess it just looks better like that. Although I might make the opacity a bit. Saturation. I think it's typically described as almost like spirals. So we'll have 2 layers. We'll have that one and then we'll have this one and we'll just like have it. Yeah, that's kind of pretty. There we go. I think I may go ahead and just do one more layer. Because I'm not terribly happy with the level of detail on this. I think maybe I'm gonna just go ahead and start with the black lines and then Yeah, I think it'll be better to have just at least one more layer for more detail. I probably don't need to, but I'm so picky with my own work that it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't have a bit more detail. And I'm considering, I think I probably will actually add the vines on the legs as well. Some details to these trees. Yeah, the ears. So, this is such a fiddly little part right here. I just don't think that looks honestly. Line that. I like how this is coming out as far as like the mist over the mountains goes. I think it looks pretty magical, which is really nice. That's what I was going for. It's always like a balance of putting too much detail in or not enough detail. And this is just a sketch, so I probably should just kind of like... It's always like, should I put more detail into my sketch, or should I just kind of let it, you know, let it go? Just let it be kind of sketchy and... It's always difficult. Because I can't decide. It kind of occurred to me that these mushrooms are actually probably gigantic, given the fact that, like, the scale. These mushrooms are, like, the size of a house. That would be kind of fun, honestly. I wish we had mushrooms the size of houses. I mean, technically, I guess, if you count, like, some of, like, probably the shelf mushrooms... We do, but we don't have like any of the big like umbrella type mushrooms as big as a house. I'm also going to need to add some shadows to show like how huge Snawfus is. Oh. Don't want that to be too squarish looking. Tail. And then, oh, should have like a bonk counter for how many times I bonk my poor tablet pen on things. Moss hanging off the tail. Too big? Oops. That's about right. Nice. Okay. And then I can go ahead and what am I missing here? Where is the line that's supposedly gone? Is it because... where is it? Okay, it's somewhere on the leg here, but I don't see it. What the heck? Where Or is it over here somewhere? Oh, I am so silly. It's this entire section. There we go. Silly, silly me. Okay. Invert, and we will erase everything that doesn't need to be there anymore. Nice. And we're gonna fix these up since we cleaned them up a little bit. Oop. Messy. And now we can go ahead and color these. Oh, actually I should have chosen this. Makes it much cleaner. Nice. All right, and then we'll do some brown for these. And we'll erase that. Oh. Nice. Okie dokie. And then now we gotta do the moss here. Whoop. That was the wrong layer. Silly me. I think maybe they should have He should have some moss on his head too. I think that would look nice. Kind of break up this monotonous color he got going on here. There we go. Why is that not selecting? There we go. And then I think I'm going to tinge his wings with some pink. Just the tips. But I think I want like a paler pink. I don't think it needs to be all the way tinged up at the top. Evening, Jeffrey. How are you doing? Not too bad, just chillaxing. Good deal. Good deal. I am drawing, at the moment, I'm drawing Snawfus. I'm not sure. So Snawfus is like a creature from Ozark folklore. And he's often portrayed as a big ol' stag. So I decided to draw him like even bigger. Almost like the size of a mountain. Let's see. Sort of reminds me of, what's that anime? Huh? Are you thinking Princess Mononoke? Yes. Princess Mononoke. That's a really good one. But yeah, kind of like a forest spirit sort of thing. So Snawfus is commonly portrayed as like a symbol of death and rebirth. And is often taken as like an omen of death when you see it. But then there are some people that kind of see it as like a, again, like a, almost like a Mother Nature-y kind of thing. My favorite, like, how I tend to portray Snawfus is almost like, you know how like there's like world turtles that like have like entire worlds on their back and everything. Kind of similar to that. Hi, cat. My cat has come up to say hi. Kind of similar to that, but with a deer instead and an entire forest on his back. I'm gonna move some stuff so my cat can come over, because otherwise she's going to get mad at me. What are you doing, cat? I'm gonna put the lines over that. Are you wrecking stuff on my desk? I think it's obligatory to wreck stuff if you're a cat. Yeah, yeah. Quite true. Quite true. She likes to jump on my keyboard and mess stuff up a lot. I've come back, like, from an outing or something, and I found her with my command prompt screen open and having typed gibberish in it. And I'm like, how did you even do that? Oh, hold on just a second. Ah. Unfortunately, I'm probably not going to be able to do a whole lot more with this tonight, though, because I've got about 10 more minutes until I was planning on ending stream. I'm still trying to, like, figure out what times are good for me with streaming, because I don't like staying up too late, since I do also have a job. Yeah, I gotta regulate. Yep. So true. But I'm just kind of like experimenting. I think it did work better starting it a little bit earlier this time, so that's probably what I'm going to end up doing from now on. Because before I was having the problem of getting to bed too late, and then I was like waking up zero energy, and I'm like, this sucks. Yeah, not a lot of people on late. Yeah, true. True. Very true. I had originally thought about streaming like earlier in the day, but then my schedule changed and I really wasn't able to do that, so I've been streaming later at night. But I wonder if maybe I should try to rearrange my schedule and stream earlier. It might be better. Okay. Oh well, I guess it's just like a learning curve and stuff, trying to figure things out. And as far as like so I'm probably going to be, because I can only really do 2 streams a week at the moment, I'm probably going to alternate weeks as far as like, I'm on night shift, so I'm always up late, but no one's ever on. Aw, man. Yeah, that's tough. I remember I used to like, it's easier if you like watch people from different time zones and stuff, but I used to work at a hospital. I used to be up at like freaking 4 a.m. and there was like never anything to listen to, really. Unless I watched streamers that were outside my time zone. Time zones are troublesome. Yeah, I tend to watch a lot of overseas fiber arts channels late at night. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of interesting because you can find a lot of different things that you normally wouldn't see live. So that's kind of nice. I haven't quite got to the point where I can draw quickly on stream yet. Normally I'm a lot quicker when I'm drawing off stream, but I think I get distracted easily. I get a lot of free time sitting in this booth, so I crochet or fiddle on my phone. Oh, nice! You do crochet? Do you do, let's see. Do you do, like, clothes, or do you do, like, plushies and stuff? I've always wanted to learn how to do crochet. I can knit a little bit, but not very well. I do a little of everything, working on a C2C queen size blanket at the moment. Got about 2 miles of yarn into it so far. Wow, that's a big project. That's a lot of dedication, for sure. But it's always nice to have like a craft that you can kind of chip away at a little bit at a time, I feel. Yeah, I figure it's going to take me about 35 to 40 hours total to complete. Wow, yeah, that's a super big project. But I'll bet it'll be really satisfying when you're finally done with it. Are you making it for yourself, or are you making it as like a gift for somebody? Gonna give it to Mom's. She's been kind of sick lately. Aww. I hope your mom feels better soon, and that's really sweet. I'll bet your mom will love it. Homemade gifts are like the best gifts, in my opinion. I love homemade gifts. I'd rather a homemade gift any day. Okay, I'm probably going to finish up coloring these lines and then probably call it. I've never tried to raid anyone before, but I think if I recall correctly, one of my favorite streamers is streaming. When I get my sewing machine, I might make blankets out of old clothes and donate to them. Oh, that's such a lovely idea, Scylla. That would be so lovely. That's such a nice way to repurpose something that you don't need anymore. And help people at the same time. Aww. That way I can learn my sewing machine. Yeah, that's true. Nice, I make beanies for him every year. That's lovely too. I'll bet they really appreciate that. And it's also really nice. Oh, my cat. What are you getting into, Midnight? It's also really nice because it can keep them warm and everything. Okay, wrong color. And yeah, the shelter is super thankful. Not many people doing it anymore, but a few years back there was a lot more. Oh, bummer. I wonder why. I wonder why. I guess maybe because people are so busy or just not a lot of people doing it. like doing that craft. It's a really nice idea, though. Probably the... Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Well, that's a shame. I hope maybe more people pick it up. I know that there's like a resurgence in quilting going on lately. I've been seeing it everywhere. Okay, I'm gonna save this, and then I'm probably... I don't know if I can. I'm gonna see real quick. Hang on a second. I'm gonna see if who I think is streaming. Because if he is, I'm gonna try... Oh, he is. I'm gonna try raiding. I've never raided before, and I know that we don't really have a whole lot of people to raid with, but... Quilting groups don't like me. I'm 6'8" and have a full beard. They say I'm too intimidating. Aw, man! That's a bummer! What the heck? They shouldn't judge you based on that. Gosh darn it. Well, I hope maybe someday if you want to learn quilting that you're able to find... Oh, thanks! Thanks, Scylla. I am still brand new to this, so... I'm still brand new to this. And I don't quite know what I'm doing yet. Alright, let's see if this works. Oh, nice! Ah, gotcha. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and raid and then end stream. So thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Do I have a Discord? I am setting one up, and hopefully I will have it done before too long. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the end screen, and then we're going to go ahead and raid Zenith.